Hello, everybody. Welcome to Jr.com. I have another topic about the police. The police pulling people over. Um, the current car I have, uh, it has a check engine light on. It's still running, but you know how we are. We got roll out a check engine light on 20 years. As long as the car still running, we'll roll. But my registration was due on the 26th, and my car didn't pass the small because the check engine light was on. So I got a 10-day moving permit. And so I'm driving down the street with my license plates, and it was like on the 27th. So I'm driving down the street on the 27th, the day after my registration expired. Police gets behind me, and I got my 10-day moving permit in the window. So all it says on my registration is that on my tag it says 1 of 2020, that it expires this month of 2020. So I'm sure they ran my plates. I mean, they see me pass by my car and had started putting it. So they ran my plates. So they saw my registration was expired. So they pulled me over. So when he pulled me over, he said, "Oh, I pulled you over because your registration is expired." And I said, "You see that piece of paper right there in the window? You should have looked at that and let me go. Because it's a 10-day moving permit. So he should have looked at that and let me go." But in the meantime, he wants to ask me, let me have your license and registration and insurance. Okay, I'll give you my license, registration, and insurance. And then he asked me, do I have any weapons in the car? So, why are you asking me if I have any weapons in the car when you put me over? Because my registration is expired and I just showed you a 10-day movement permit, which means I can legally drive this car. Why would I tell you if there's weapons in the car? If I had weapons in the car, why are you asking? Everything I'm driving legally right now. So the problem that you had, the reason why you pulled me over, is already solved. Yeah. But you're going to ask me, do I have weapons in the car? And then I should have, yeah. I wanted to say, yes, sir, I do have weapons in this car. This D is a weapon. But so he takes my insurance and registration, and I'm sure he goes back and runs my name to see if I have any warrants. He was trying his best to find something.
Yeah, and that's what they do. But the problem is that the problem I have is white people can get away with almost anything because they don't do that. They don't do that with white people. If a white person would have been in the same situation, he would have looked at his registration and be like, all right, we're good. Let's wait to make sure you have registration.
Even if he probably would have looked at the 10-day moving permit and let him go. Because that shows that I can drive the car legally.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with me driving the car.
Like everything was clear up to the point where he ran your background. Like after that, it was like, okay, now you're doing too much. You're incriminating me when I'm not even in a criminal situation. Like you don't have any reason to run my background.
You didn't have a reason to ask me that I have any weapons in the car.
Yeah, like you pulled me over for the grounds that you thought that the registration was expired, which it was, and I had the registration, like the 10-day permit right here. I have my license, my registration, and my insurance. You know, that's all you should need. That's everything that allows me to move this car. Now, why are you running my background? Was it was the vehicle reported stolen? No. So, exactly, you don't have no reason to run my background other than if the vehicle is reported stolen. Now you're searching for something to take me down for. You're incriminating me in a situation where I shouldn't be incriminated. And it was mostly just because you're a black.
He was hoping I had a warrant.
Yeah, he was
He was-
hoping you had something that he could just be like, all right,
You step out of the car, yeah. Let me get this quota real quick.
right. Like, and it is the beginning of the year, so they are kind of, rush in on that. And
I've
this
been
is
seeing
like,
police everywhere.
yeah,
right
because
now.
they're trying to hurry up and get it.
They trying to hit their quota at the beginning of the year right now. They just pulled people over. He pulled somebody else over right after that.
Yeah, they
But-
trying to hurry up and get it off. And that's the problem with police, because you pay them, and then a private organization pays them to arrest people. So it's like you pay them to
The
protect
taxpayer
you,
dollar.
quote unquote, protect you. When in fact they're not even there for your protection. They're there to serve themselves. Like the serve and protect, that law has been like
Yeah,
it's running
they took it off the card and everything. Yeah.
Yep.
They're not here
See,
to
I
serve
told
us.
you.
Yeah.
Yep.
Another guy just mentioned that. Yeah, he said they took it off the card to protect and serve because that's not what they're here for.
Oh, he told you that?
Huh?
He
Yeah.
told you that?
And he told me he talked to an ex-cop.
I told you.
Yeah.
And when I found that out, I was like, bruh, see, they pointless. Like, what are you? And I was like, I've always thought that about the police, because I was like, bruh, you come in trying to fix the situation, or you're supposed to come in to fix the situation, and you make everything worse. You literally make everything worse, and you don't even see how. You think that you fixed the situation because you got called and you came in, and like, you think that putting this person in jail because of this situation is fixing this situation. But it's like, that's like putting a person in timeout because somebody else. Like, when they get out of timeout, they probably gonna beat that person like up. Like,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Well, if
I'm
they're
like,
smart
let's be
enough.
real.
If they're smart, they'll learn from the situation and try not to get put in timeout again. But the police are that just that one instance is one of many.
Yeah.
Like I've had so many instances with the police to where, it gets so irritating, and that's the reason why I tend to talk about trash because it's a bunch of stupid situations that I have to go through. Sorry, my
Yeah, like that made me want to bring up the story that I went through when I went outside for 30 minutes. Just 30 minutes and ended up in jail. Because I went to the store and I really don't like the city. I really want to leave. I went to the store and like in my wallet, I had 2 20s folded up and 3 5s. I went up to the register because the total was 14, I think 1472. Yeah, the total was 1472. So, me being me, naturally, I would never, like, it's illogical for me to ever pull out less than what is required. So I pulled out a 20. I unfolded it, everything, pulled out the 20. Because that's what I do. Every time I get a 20 in my wallet, I fold it to separate it from all the other bills. Just to make sure that I never, lose a 20. And I pulled out a 20, unfolded it, looked at it, and said, here you go. That should be the whole thing. She pressed some buttons on her register. Put the 20 in the register, pulled out a 5, and it was like, oh, and pressed some more buttons and said, that's 10, that's 9, I think 972. And I was like, 972? I just gave you a 20. Like, she was like, no, you only gave me a 5. And I was like, bruh. So, of course I started tripping because I'm like, you're not about to sit here and tell me I gave you a 20. Well, I mean, I gave you a 5 when I know for a fact I gave you a 20. For a fact, I gave you a 20. And some drunk white guy next to me ended up just staring at me. So I'm like, bro, do you have a problem? Like, get out of my face. And he was like, yeah, you're the problem. So basically, they tried to, almost crucify me in the store. And what happened? So the white guy started threatening me. He was like, I'll kill you. And I'm like, bro, what in the world? Well, I have every right to beat you down to a pulp right now for my defense. Because you just sat here and said I would kill you.
Threaten your life, yeah.
Yeah, over freaking $20 or $5. Like
That's not even yours.
right.
You didn't have anything.
You ain't even in this. And I told him that. I was like, bro, if you don't get out of my face right now, I swear on everything I love, you're about to make me turn back into what I was. And I'm trying as hard as I can to not be what I was, and you're not gonna like any of it. So step back. And then I was like, and then some ladies came in and they was trying to move him back. And I was like, bro, I swear y'all better try harder, because if I see him not being moved back, I'm gonna swing on him. And that's on everything I love. And they looked at me and they saw that I really wasn't joking, because I only have so much that I can like keep my rage down. And my rage is like incompatible with like most people. Like my rage is like one of the rage where it's like in middle school, somebody threw a whole textbook at me on the side of my head, history book too. And I didn't even get phased. I just looked at him like, touch me again and I'll knock you out, nigga. Like, my rage is like to a point where it was like, remember when I told you I got jumped by 7 people and I was sitting there, and my rage made me so mad that when I got jumped by them 7 people, I was about to stand up and start swinging off on them, because all of their hits was weak. None of their hits was like phasing me, but all of these people were bigger and stronger than me. Like they could, like in weight class, because I share a weight class with. In weight class, they benched more than me. They were literally physically stronger than me. But when it came down to punching and fighting, I was just like, I was too angry. Like, and I've even had linebackers sit here and try to like jump me on a bus. 2 linebackers jumped me on a bus. And the reason they jumped me was because they knew that one-on-one they wasn't gonna do it, because they tried to do it one-on-one. One person came over and he swung on me, and I grabbed his arm and I looked at him and I was like, and I was about to just like punch him as hard as I could, and his friend came over and swung on me, and I went like this instead. And he saved him, because he was so scared. Like he was sitting there and they was like, bro. And then the other guy was like, dude, move your arm. He was like, I can't. And I was just like, yeah, nigga, I'm about to knock you out. Like, my rage really put me on a like level where it's like a lot of people can't mess with me. And yeah, so I'm sitting there like looking at him like, bro, do you not know what I would do to you right now?
Yeah.
Like,
that a lot of the rage comes from when people mess with you people mess with you, especially when you're younger, and you know if there comes a time where you're not having none of that. You know, you're not having none of that, and you get so angry, and you quit temper, quit to pop
but
off.
it's like it's an anger that I get to where it's like I don't control. It's almost like a possession of the anger. The anger will possess me, and I will no longer have control of myself. Like I know what I'm doing, but I won't have control of myself. And that's what I was trying to get. I was trying to hold back on my anger, because I know that if I get to that point, he would have been bloody on the floor.
And that's why I think, like, I when I grew up, I always thought, like, for me, I thought 10 steps ahead of every situation.
Yeah.
So, when I know I'm about to get into a fight, matter of fact, I was walking down the street one time, and I seen a car. I seen a car. They drove past me, and then they turned around, and I already knew. As soon as they turned around, what was getting ready to happen? You know, didn't know who they were, but I knew what was going to happen as soon as they turned around.
Yeah.
So they turned around. 2, 3 dudes hopped out of the car. They started asking me questions like what was and stuff like that. But that we're going to take a quick little minute for a break, and I'll come back with you in a couple of seconds. So just give us a couple of minutes to pay our sponsors. All right, we back. But yeah, they turned around. You know, they started trying to ask me what hood I was from or whatever, and all of that type of stuff. At that point in my life, I wasn't really, I wasn't really into gang banging. I was trying to, trying to live my life. I had kids at the time, so I wasn't, I wasn't really with that. But yet, I was coming out of a gang neighborhood.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really nothing I could say. So they tried to, one of them tried to swing, and I moved back, and he missed, and I popped him a couple times and pushed him towards the car, and slammed the car door on one of the other dudes. And I mean, we got into a quick little fight, and then another car driving down the street, they started yelling, hey, leave that man alone. And then the guys ran and hopped in the car and ran away. And that was weak, The whole thing was just weak,
Yeah.
And it's almost like how they talk about these thugs who they'll jump a black dude. Like, you'll jump a black dude or you'll shoot a black dude, but if the police pull you over, they take you to jail with your gun.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, you're quick to do something that you feel that you could do. You like bullying and all of that type of stuff. You bully somebody that you know you can bully, but yet you'll let the police bully you.
That part. And with bullying, like, I don't understand that because I don't know. I've always tried to tell people I'm not the person to bully, because that ended up happening to me in middle school in the 6th grade. It was this guy that sat there trying to bully me, and he pushed me to that point where it's like I end up going. It's like it's so scary. It's scary because of the simple fact that not a lot can save you once I'm in that point. Like, you better start running, basically. And the reason I say that is because in middle school, like, I remember, have you ever seen Mr. Ford?
No.
He 6'5", like 270 pounds. He's big. He's really big. And it's not like fat or anything. It's like muscle. He's big. And I remember in middle school, and you low-key experienced this too. In middle school, like, I might be small, but when I go into a certain level of anger, like, it's not a lot that people can do. Like, I really get angry to the point where it's like, bruh, wow, I didn't even know he was that strong. So what happened was this little kid knocked my school books out of my hand. And I was like, bruh, leave me alone. Just leave me alone. Leave me alone. And he was like, I don't like you. And he started punching me. He punched me 3 times. And I sat there and I didn't even budge. I didn't move. My face didn't move. My head didn't move. Nothing on me moved. I punched him 1 time. And I punched him so hard, he flew halfway down the hall. This is in middle school. He flew halfway down the hall. And his eye was like completely swollen. And 3 teachers, this 3 full teachers, including him, came out to try to stop me. And they couldn't even stop me. And he was just looking at me. Like, he was just staring at me scared. Because, like, one teacher was in front of me trying to push me back. The other 2 teachers were trying to pull my arms back. Like, pull my arms and shoulder back. And that's when Mr. Ford picked me up. Because that's literally the only way. That was literally the only way they could stop me. They were not stopping me by trying to push me back. I was literally pushing all of them and pulling them in middle school towards that guy. And I saw so much fear in his eyes. And that's why I tell them, people, don't mess with me, because I'm not me once I get that point. Like, anger really possesses me to the point where it's like nothing affects me when I get that anger. Nothing. There's nothing that you can't push me hard enough. You can't, because it's like you push me to a point where it's like, I'm just too angry about the whole situation, and nothing can save me. And, like, it's gonna be bad when I go to the gym and start working out. Because if I gain pounds, then you really just like,
well, you actually should. Once you go to the gym and start working out, you should be even more calm, because you don't want to.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be. That's why I don't mess with a lot of people. But what I'm trying to tell people is, pushed me to that anger. I'm no longer in control of myself. That's why I'm such a scary person when you push me to that anger. Like, me and you had a few fights before, and it was like you even experienced it one time where me and you, like, you way bigger than me, like you bigger than me, and you got more muscle than me, and we was sitting there and we was fighting, and we was like kind of almost like a quarterback type of thing, and I was pushing you back, and like you was like, what the? And you just picked me up because it was like I'm too light to be doing stuff like that. So it's weird when it happens, but it's like that's what my anger possession does, and that's why I try so hard to control it because it's not me, it's possession. I'm being physically possessed by the amount of rage that's been like that's there, and it's like it's always been like that throughout my entire life. Like I don't. It's like I don't know what it is, but it's like it's something in my brain where it's like if you push me and you continuously push me and push me and push me, like I'll allow it. But then once you push me to the point where it's like, and even psychologists told me this in elementary. Once you push him to the point,
Anybody.
yeah, like, and it's like I don't understand why people do that.
Yeah.
I don't try to push anybody to the point where it's like they get into that anger because I understand myself what kind of strength that anger comes with. That anger comes with a whole nother strength that's almost not human. Like that's why I call it a possession. But the guy in the story, back to the guy in the story, he almost pushed me to that point. Like I felt it coming because it's like you can feel it coming, your hands start shaking and stuff like that.
All these things.
Yeah, and he threatened my life, and the police came because the cashier lady called the police on me and told them I was fighting. I told them I wasn't fighting, and I told them, what did you get called here for? He was like, because you were causing a disturbance to the property. And I was like, okay, I was causing a disturbance to the property. Now you see me walking away from this property, correct? He was like, yeah, but we still need to talk to you. I was like, there's no reason to talk to me.
Yeah.
I was like, you don't see that there's still a disturbance in the property. I didn't break anything. I didn't damage anything.
And the cold part about it is you were not causing the disturbance.
Right.
What happened was they were basically trying to take your money.
Right.
So that caused the disturbance.
Yeah. So it was like a huge ground of injustice because, and that's why I say black people, the system isn't built for you. The system is built for the white people. It's not built for the black people. We're in a white country while being black, and that is a crime. Like, that's a crime already. So it's like they're going to start off by intimidating. And it was like, okay, so your job, you came here and your job was to remove me from the property.
I'm already off the property.
Yeah, I'm removing myself from the property. You're stopping me from removing myself from the property so that you can get the chance to incriminate me. You don't, I was like, you're not doing your job properly. I was like, some things, yes, you do incriminate a person. Other things, no, you just handle the situation. I was like, as a police officer, you don't even understand your own job. Then that's when he was like, oh, I'm about to take him down. I'm about to run his background. And this is when I knew that they were 100% incriminating. Because as soon as he read my background, he was like, bingo, just what I was looking for. Why were you looking for that?
Yeah.
That's that incrimination. And it's like, and it's those subtle things.
Those things, yeah.
Yeah,
when they pull us over, they're looking for a reason to take us to jail.
Yeah, and that's off the top. It don't matter what the situation is. You could have been called for picking leaves off of a tree, and you only picked one leaf. Now they about to run your whole background.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. And I know that they ran my background as soon as they pulled me over. And I was like, I already knew that I was going to be able to walk away because I don't have no, everything is taken care of. I don't have any tickets, nothing. But, just the simple fact that when they pulled me over, and they asked me did I have any weapons in the car, and I'm like, how is that relevant to not having registration?
Yeah.
And why would you ask me that? You're asking me that because I'm black.
That part, basically.
Like, because I don't, if I was a white man driving through here, I honestly don't think that you would ask if I had weapons in the car.
I've actually been with white people who will sit there and have like a permit, and they'll look at the permit and be like, okay, you get to go. You just have to make sure you have a permit to move the car. It's like, bro, you don't even know if this person have a license to move this car. Like, bro, but they'll go above and beyond to find anything wrong with black people. Anything.
Yeah.
Like, and it's sad.
Yeah, they were reaching. They were reaching, man. Hoping that they would get. I was so happy and laughing when I was able to pull it off. I was like, you know, the person.
I was in your situation.
But the person in the car next to me, I was like, now that's what I like right there. Gone. Bye. I'm waiting. Bye.
I wish I was in your situation because in my situation, there is no justice anywhere. Like, they'll sit there and say, like, if I was trying to take my situation to the court for discrimination, they'll be like, well, he did his job right because he found something to take you to jail for, and that's what they're supposed to do. And I was like, and I'll be like, no, that's not what they're supposed to do. But in your situation, that would be discrimination and incrimination to the fullest, and they won't have nothing to explain for it. Because it's like, okay, you pulled me over for registration because you found out I have registration. There's nothing, you don't need nothing else. Like, everything else beyond that, like, why did you run my background?
Yeah.
Like, okay, if you pull me over for expired registration, you gotta think about it. Like, what's reasonable? A license, insurance, and the permit. That's all reasonable.
Yeah.
Background check? What are you doing? This car isn't reported stolen.
Nope.
I'm not doing anything wrong. You literally I don't have no crimes. Everything that would have been a crime is already solved. You don't have no reason to run my background. You ran my background because I'm black and you were trying to find something to put me down for. Like, and it's like,
and then the cold part about it is the car is in my wife's name.
yeah.
So, but I'm sure that they ran the license plate and they possibly even saw that it was my wife's car, but they saw that I was her husband.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I don't even think like they would have pulled me over if they hadn't seen me in the car.
That part.
You know?
Yeah.
Honestly, because they saw me in the car when I hit the corner. Because they were coming around the corner this way, and I hit the corner and went this way. And then when they got behind me, they ran my place. And I did not do anything wrong while I was driving.
That part. Except he is black.
Yeah, I didn't do anything wrong with that. I went and I stopped at the light, and then I went past the light soon as it turned green. Once I got past the light, once I got to the light, they had enough time to run my place. And then when I went past the light, they hit the light. But I was only going right around that little corner. I stopped right where I was at. You know?
Yeah.
and because I couldn't wait. I honestly love those moments.
I would have taken it a step further. I would have activated the badge number and be like, you realize you just discriminated me, right?
Yeah.
I would have told him, I would have been like, you realize you just discriminated me, right?
But I like,
all right, I just want to
I should have took a little bit more time looking for the stuff because I like to waste their time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I love. I love to waste the police time. Like, because you could have been spending time actually taking somebody in, taking another black man down.
Yeah.
But no, you're here with the wrong one, and I'm going to make it take some time.
And then
I'm take some time out of your day for nothing.
I was telling the police that when they took me like basically down, I was like, wow, y'all are so. I literally sat there and told them, y'all are so disrespectful. Y'all are so disrespectful. I was like, because I'm black, so y'all know both of y'all ain't faster than me. And I was like, hey, y'all, if you think that the police academy would have made you faster than me, guess what? I was in the army. So not only am I faster than you, I can run longer than you. I was like, I could have made this whole entire thing just one big issue for y'all. Because y'all already had it set to take me down and put me in jail. So I could have made this entirely like, a difficult situation. And I was like, all I would have had to do was
be gone.
Yep, and I was like, y'all would have been
like on top. Oh, we running out of time, so visit Jr.com.